morning, everybody. Respected Session Chair, Mr. Bipul Pathak, my fellow speakers on the dais, and the delegates. At the outset, I would like to express my gratitude to Sri Sanjay Jazu, Secretary IT, Government of AP, and Dr. Ravi Gupta, CEO of ELETS, for inviting me to this forum to share my thoughts today. I feel privileged to share my thoughts on e-governance for sustainable urbanization in cities and towns in India, which is through JNNURM, Jawaharlal Nehru National Urban Renewal Mission, across the country. This is a reform-linked urban infrastructure development scheme, which is giving a lot of benefits to the citizen at large. Ministry of Urban Development has taken lots of initiatives in the area of e-governance, and our ministry is guiding the states, UTs and urban local bodies for creating full-fledged IT infrastructure. This is creating transparency, speed, visibility for the benefits of citizens at large. During this presentation, I will be taking you through the national urban growth scenario, challenges, features of JNNURM, and the capacity building initiatives of our ministry for the direct transfer of benefits to the state level nodal agencies of the funds flow. So here, in fact, my presentation is more on the, as Session Chair has already mentioned, it is the G to Z, that is the central government to the state government at macro level. So I would be touching upon the points like national and international growth scenario, urban growth scenario, the scheme, the objectives, e-governance initiatives of the ministry, online project management information system. This is another e-governance initiative of our ministry, so that state and the urban local bodies and the cities, major cities, they can directly have the access to the project monitoring and reform implementation. On the urban population growth, world over, the urban population has grown to 51% as against 47% in 2001, which is clearly showing the steady population growth. The urban population in India has grown to 32.63% against 28% in 2001. So keeping this steady growth in view, Government of India launched reformed link scheme, that is Jawaharlal Nehru National Urban Mission, in 65 mission cities and 4,300 towns, small and medium towns across the country. The scheme is aimed at sustainable urban infrastructure development across the country. It's a planned development scheme, and the focus is on creating economically productive, efficient, and equitable and responsible cities. The urban challenges which we faced in India, basically on the weak revenue base of urban local bodies, urban infrastructure services delivery gaps, what assets we have and how much more assets are required, their operation and maintenance, urbanizing poverty and growing unemployment, governance constraints, weak urban institutions, and the environmental issues. To address all these issues, Jawaharlal Nehru National Urban Renewal Mission is the scheme which is addressing all these challenges. The population growth, population pressure is more on small and medium towns as compared to the major cities. The four graphs on the top you can see, these four graphs are showing the sharp growth of urban population in the small and medium towns as compared to the steady growth in major cities. So the main focus of Government of India and our ministry is to provide funds to the small and medium towns to make them more sustainable in terms of assets created there. The objective of this scheme is to have integrated urban development infrastructure services to create linkage between assets created out of this scheme and then further manage those assets so created. ensure adequate funds to meet infrastructure deficiencies, then the planned development of identified cities, including peri-urban areas, like the growth is basically in the peri-urban areas because main areas in the big cities are almost getting saturated. Scale up delivery of civic amenities and provisions of utilities, enhancement of urban service delivery so that the citizens take benefit of that, and special focus on urban renewal program in the old city areas. It has, GNNURM has got two components, one for the major cities, that is called UIG, Urban Infrastructure and Governance, and for small and medium towns, it is UIDSSMT. These two components are handled by Ministry of Urban Development. Other two components on the urban basic services to urban poor and also housing for slum development is taken by our sister ministry, that is Ministry of UPA. This scheme is worth $6.3 billion and it is about 1 lakh crore worth the scheme. The major sectors covered in this scheme is the urban renewal, water supply, sewerage, sanitation, construction and improvement of drains, water, and the roads and highways, parking lots, development of heritage areas, and preservation of water bodies. So under this scheme, states have all the means and they are taking advantage of having project in all these areas. The expected outcome which is resulting into citizens' benefit is a city-wide framework for planning and governance, access to basic services to the citizens, financially self-sustainable urban local bodies, and improved service delivery through reform implementation, transparency and accountability which is coming through the e-governance initiatives in the major cities, also in small and medium towns, and introduction of e-governance applications which is the core functions of the urban local bodies. The implementation structure is 3-tier where the central government, state government and urban local bodies are involved, and these are supported by full-fledged support mechanism. That is, we have got the agencies who are regularly appraising the reforms, they are appraising the projects. Also, training institutions are also associated so that the implementation of reforms as well as project is smooth across the country. Under these two schemes, we have got about 1,500 projects in different sectors, and out of that, about 600 projects have already been completed. You can see the major thrust of the Government of India is on water supply. In the major cities, water supply, sewerage, drainage, solid waste management, these are the major focus areas where a lot of funds have flown, and all this funds transfer has taken place from central government to the state government, state level nodal agencies through the electronic media. And in the small and medium towns, you can see the much more funds have gone on the water supply because most of the cities and towns, they lack in basic services, that is the water supply. So more funds have gone into water supply, sewerage, roads and flyover, as well as in drains. Since the GNNURM is a reform-linked scheme, therefore the states have to achieve reforms. E-governance reform is one of the important reforms where the state have to achieve this reform in order to claim further installment from us. And this reform achievement is resulting into self-sustainability of the cities and towns across the country. You can see prior to launch of GNNURM, we were at 9% of the reform implementation. In 2013, we have achieved 72% of reforms. This has gradually resulted into self-sustainability of the towns. You can see, I'll show you the national scenario where the sky blue color is the states which have achieved the reforms across the country. They are providing more benefits to the citizen as compared to the cities and towns in the northern part of the country and the eastern part. there the urban reform implementation bit slow, but they are gearing up to achieve reform. Our ministry has already sanctioned 29 projects on e-governance across 16 states and 13 projects in urban local bodies on e-governance. About 200 crore worth funds have been allocated for this purpose. We have also conducted a study, information and service need assessment in 3,900 urban local body towns, and where the analysis has resulted into what is the e-governance gap. And that e-governance gap will be fulfilled by further project sanction to all these 3,900 towns. So the focus is we will like to make these urban local bodies self-sustaining. They should be having e-governance in place so that citizens have advantage to that effect. Other initiatives of the ministry include e-Awas, which is the online automatic allotment system for central government quarters. E-Seva is CPWD's online service monitoring system for the quarters, central government quarters. E-Dharti, JNNURM, we have got PMIS implementation, which is the project monitoring and reform monitoring online automatic system. On the e-governance front, out of 65 mission cities, 37 cities have already implemented e-governance modules across the country. E-governance module covers birth and death registration certificate, property tax, double entry accounting system, water supply, utilities, citizens, grievance, redressal, building plan approval, procurement and monitoring of projects. So these things have already initiated in all the cities wherever they are lacking. Innovative approaches of some of these cities like Hyderabad has introduced auto SMS to citizens on complaint redressal, GPS device to solid waste management system through vehicle transport of the solid waste in Indore, biometric attendance system for municipal employees of Hyderabad and Chennai. So a lot of initiatives are there on the e-governance front. This is resulting into improved service delivery, decentralization, better information management and transparency, citizens' involvement in governance, and also overall improvement in urban governance across departments at all levels. This PMIS, which has been recently implemented about 7-8 months ago, now the states and the urban local bodies are taking advantage of online data access on the projects, that this data can be utilized for redressal of different issues at the state level, maybe in the assembly session or parliament sessions, where the questions can be replied while using the data. And through this website, the utilization certificates are generated, quarterly progress reports are generated on the project implementation, so as to know what is the health and status of project implementation across the country. Under this PMIS, we have got responsibilities laid out for the states and the central government so that the information flow is smooth and information is available to the urban local bodies on project implementation. This is the home page of the website. These glimpses are on the utilization certificate, how it is generated online, and also quarterly progress report, which is online. It is available to the state local agencies, also in the ministry to the JNNURM directorate. Under capacity building, in order to further enhance the capacity of the urban local bodies, also the ATIs institutions, under capacity building we have got a lot of funds, and the states are now taking advantage of project sanctioned under capacity building so that they can take advantage, they can enhance the capacity of the urban local bodies. And this is aiming at strategic planning, operation and maintenance of assets, resource mobilization, organizational development, and HRD training as well. So under this, a lot of good work has been done, and states are taking advantage, and there is no much restriction, and states can get the funds under the capacity building. And we have already sanctioned projects to the state so that earlier they implement the projects and the advantages to the urban local bodies. So the expected outcome of the capacity building program is upgradation of the skill of elected representatives, urban managers, and the training and exposure visits to the officers, better manpower utilization and effective staff deployment, enhanced capacity to prepare integrated city development plans, enhance managerial and technical capacity, also enhance service delivery through improved financial management system and process at ULB level. These are some glimpses of training conducted in different states under capacity building programs. I like to conclude by saying that implementation of e-governance reform is resulting into transparency and speedy response to citizens by the ULBs across the nation. PMIS implementation has resulted in effective project and reform monitoring at center as well as at state level. All types of information could be extracted from the PMIS for addressing the issues related to Parliament questions, VIP references, and standing committee matters. Data analysis on funds releases, project completion, and for the purpose of future line of action with respect to approval of projects, everything is possible from the PMIS website. It has been launched on the independent URL and it is available across the nation. ULBs are now making use of capacity building program to enhance capacity for effective e-governance benefits to the societies. Thank you very much.